The phone rang at 2:17 a.m. Her name burned on the screen like a wound I thought had already scabbed over. I let it ring, watched it tremble against the wood, watched it scream into the silence. Then, her voice on the machine, shaking, breathless, a whisper clinging to panic. "Please, pick up. Something's wrong. You need to tell me what you did." I leaned back in the dark. No reply, no comfort, just the sound of her breaking. And behind her words, I heard something else, the unmistakable sound of fear. The kind of fear only truth delivers. 2 weeks earlier, she had left, no warning, just a note on the counter and a vanished college fund. Our son's future scraped clean, converted into her escape ticket. She didn't even look me in the eye before disappearing with him. The other man. I'd seen him before. The accidental brush of a hand at a dinner party, the sudden silences when I entered a room, little fractures in the glass I pretended not to notice. But the money, our son's money, wasn't an accident. That was strategy. That was betrayal sharpened into a blade. I remember staring at the empty bank account screen, watching numbers turn into absence, and her face flashing through my mind, not in love, not in guilt, but in calculation. I didn't rage, didn't scream. I couldn't afford to, because beside me stood my son, 10 years old, shoulders squared like he understood the world had just caved in. And then he smiled. "Dad, it's fine. I fixed everything." At first I thought it was just a child's attempt to soothe, a boy trying to stitch a bleeding wound with words too small. But his eyes, they didn't lie. He'd seen something, done something. I watched him in the days that followed, how he moved around the house with a strange calm, how he'd borrowed my laptop when he thought I wasn't looking. His silence wasn't innocence, it was intent. Curiosity gnawed at me. I checked browser histories, banking emails. Slowly, a trail revealed itself. Hidden logins, unfamiliar accounts, transfers that didn't belong. My son had followed her. Digital footprints she thought were invisible. And then, like a surgeon, he'd cut into them. He'd rerouted the stolen money, every last dollar. Not into my account, not into his college fund, but somewhere else. Somewhere only he knew. I never asked him directly. Some truths needed patience. Some demanded silence. Instead, I studied her. The scattered messages she sent when she realized I hadn't fought back. The quiet unease that slipped between her words. She wanted a reaction, a war. She got nothing. And that nothing made her restless. The truth arrived quietly. A single document slipped under my office door. My son's handwriting scrawled across the envelope. "For when you're ready." Inside, bank statements, access codes, a map of her theft. And at the bottom, a transfer. The college fund, restored, sitting untouched in a fresh account under my son's name. It wasn't me who reclaimed the future, it was him. 10 years old, calm, surgical, unforgiving. That night I called her, just once. No anger, only 4 words. "I know everything now." Silence stretched across the line. Then the crack. A sob she tried to smother, a plea tangled with shame. But I said nothing more. I hung up. The power shifted in that single click. 2 days later, she called again. This time, the panic had metastasized into terror. "The account, where is it? It's gone, it's all gone. Please, tell me you didn't." Her voice dissolved into gasps. The man in the background shouting, demanding, realizing the well had run dry. I held the phone, let her unravel into the silence. Finally, I whispered, calm and precise, "It was never yours to take." She broke, screamed my name like it still carried weight, begged for explanations, for forgiveness, for anything that could soften the collapse. But I gave her nothing, only silence. And silence, I've learned, is enough. Final line. Some wounds don't heal. They cauterize, burn shut, leaving nothing behind but a scar sharp enough to cut anyone who dares to touch it again.